Hello and welcome to All the Way Down, a YouTube channel all about the Scottish rock band Biffy.
All the way down.
So welcome to part one of this three-part series. I'm going to be looking at the album artworks for the first three albums. You may know the graphic designer who worked on albums after that, Storm Thorgerson. I've done a video on his work. I'll put a link to that in the description. But who were the artwork designers for the first three albums? Obviously, they were on a smaller label, so they may not be as well known as the legend is Storm Thorgerson. So I thought I'd have a look. So I'm going to be looking at the album designs for the Blackened Sky Era, Vertigo of Bliss Era, Infinity Land Era. So, and at the end of part three, after Infinity Land, I'm going to choose my top three of all the ones that I've looked at. Enjoy! So I was thinking the other day, I've done a video about the work of Storm Thorgerson and his involvement with Biffy. But obviously that was album 4 that he started. He started with Puzzle and did 3 album cycles. And I thought, you know, Biffy did 3 albums before that and they all had artworks. My aim is to do a video about all artworks that Biffy put out. So I thought I'd start from the beginning really. So as you can see, I've done again, I'm very organised. I've done folders here with Blackened Sky, Infinity Land and Vertigo of Bliss, and next to each album you've got the artist who you may not know about, you may not recognise, some more than others, maybe not as popular as Storm because he's worked with, you know, the likes of Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, Wombats, you know, all big bands, but there certainly are artists here that you can't really find much information about. But let's face it, they were a couple of albums in, budgets were tight, didn't really have the money at this time to afford Storm Thorgerson and get his kind of attention. They were still with Beggars Banquet in Scotland, so let's start with Blackened Sky. You can probably see this album cover a bit better, but before we go into the actual artist, let's look at Blackened Sky. Here it is. I really like this logo. I've got a t-shirt with this logo on it. And you do, sort of on the face of it, you can see it's sort of people and dark sky, but it's one of those where you have to look a bit closer and you do realise that this is kind of either a wooden figure or like a toy plastic figure. So you've got a figure here facing forwards, and that's his nose looking up at the sky, and this is kind of a felt brown greeny sweatshirt with beige pants looking up at the sky, and so is this guy. And I've only just noticed actually that they're both looking the same way. They're both looking up, aren't they? I'm sure Ben has a tattoo of this outline on his back. I'm sure I saw that the other day. But on the face of it, it doesn't really look like much, but if you kind of look a bit closer, it is quite intriguing. These sort of naive, one's got his arm outstretched, maybe his other arm is outstretched as well, but you can't see it. And sort of looking up at the skies and asking for rain or asking for forgiveness. But I really like it. It's one of them artworks that you hear the music when you look at it. It kind of means more than what you're seeing. But I think it's worth sort of investigating a bit further because it's a great album, isn't it? So the artist, according to the internet, is Tom Collier. Now, you can search and search and search for Tom Collier, but the most you can find really is this. And I'm not even quite sure it's the same guy. But of all the clicking and all the sort of links that you get to find information about the artist for Blackened Sky, you get a credit for Mallet Jazz in 2004, which was 3 years after the album came out. He apparently is the primary artist, producer, engineer, audio production, blah blah blah, for something called Mallet Jazz. Whether it's the same Tom Collier, I don't know, but if you actually look online, and I've got kind of all the artists brought up as much as possible, the personnel for cover photography is Tom Collier, but he's obviously not got a clickable link. All the band members have, Chris Sheldon, more production guys, but Tom Collier. You get this page as well, which is on discogs.com. Is that 3 credits? Photography commonly credited together with Phil Lee on releases of Biffy Clyro on the Beggars Banquet label. So maybe he was just a musician at the label who did a bit of this stuff on the side. So this is the stuff he's credited to. Looks like he's credited to the singles collection that was put out after the first 3 albums, which not very good artwork, let's face it. But. So he's credited with Phil Lee. Let's click on this. So this is Phil Lee. So this is apparently someone who works with Tom Collier quite a lot, and he's part of the XL record label. And these are all the ones that he's worked on, including Biffy here, yeah? Maybe it was a collaboration. But certainly on Wikipedia, and let's face it, Wikipedia is the truth. Photography for the cover was Tom Collier and the design was Phil Lee. So maybe Phil was in charge of putting it all together, and Tom was actually taking these pictures of wooden figures, plastic figures. So that was the album. Let's go to the first single, which is 27. Again, we're sticking with the same theme of figures. See, the hand looks sort of plasticky, but this looks wooden. It looks like it's been carved. And again, more wood. Is this a wood or maybe a brick that he's sort of lying on? A bit more colour here. Really nice, actually. And it sticks with the same theme of the logo and then the name of whatever it is sort of attached to it. I like that one. 57. This is sort of the clearest one I could find. And this one's a bit spooky, isn't it? I've not really seen this much. I've not really took the time to properly investigate this, but this is kind of a doll's head. Really close up, a bit too close up. And then it's either an actual person or another doll. Maybe a Ken doll. Maybe this is Barbie and Ken looking out to the sky. Less dark than the Blackened Sky cover. But maybe this is a balcony. Is this sort of the flat that they're living in? With a couch and a weird coffee table. Very odd. But you see the numbers 57, you think more of the song and the music video and the live version. This is a bit too kind of Photoshop for me. This doesn't really look as real as the other one. The other ones look very organic and very natural, where this looks quite... It's been put together on an early version of Photoshop. Okay, let's go to Just Boy. I think this is probably my favourite. A bit more light, a bit more positivity. This is obviously looks like sunset. This a beach maybe? Or it's somewhere definitely at the coast, seaside. And you've got quite a young model there. It looks more plastic than wooden. Looking out to the sunset with the lovely dog. This may be an Alsatian or a German Shepherd. I really like it. And obviously in Just Boy, the lyrics are light will break and bring a bright sky. It'd be nice to know that Tom Collier has actually thought about those lyrics and thought, let's make this single artwork a bit brighter and a bit more positive. yeah, I think that's my favourite so far. And then Joy Discover Invention and Toys Toys Toys, which was a double A side, which the Toys 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 was part of the next album. This looks to me like the kid in Toy Story. Is he called Sid? Where he's kind of put everything together, an amalgamation of toys' heads and weird, creepy things on legs, and yeah, quite scary. Toy Story was out in the late 90s, wasn't it? So I can see this being a huge influence. Yeah, I don't like to look at this too long because I got nightmares. Still, it's continuing the same vein of figures, but yeah, a bit more sort of macabre than others. Yeah.